Hey guys, MeLikeBigBoom here, and welcome to Unturned 3.12.2. Today's update is, in my opinion, like one of the best updates that we have had in a very long time. It adds, I think, 6 new guns into the game, and a new aspect of those guns or any sort of items in the game when it comes to guns in the game, inspect animations, and I'll get into that when the time comes. These 6 new guns are awesome ones. And also, in addition to those, we also have like 12 or 13 new melee weapons, some paying homage to Unturned 2.0, and some of them are silly little funny things, and we're going to check out all of them in this video. Now, I actually happen to fit pretty much everything in this update that was physically added in my inventory at one moment, so that is very nice, and we'll be able to go through them one by one. When I go through each one of these items, I'm going to put their IDs on the screen right now and all the affiliated items with them, like their iron sights and magazines and stuff like that, in case you're wondering. To start off, up at the top, we have the Sabertooth. Now, this is an American sharpshooter rifle chambered in Sabertooth ammunition, which is down here. It is this magazine right here. It holds 10 shots per magazine, and I'd like to think of it as the American competitor to the Russian Matamoras. It takes military ammunition boxes or crates like this one right here, and it's pretty much in range and in rate of fire similar to the Matamoras. It is slightly superior in that the magazine that comes with it is 10 shots, whereas with the Matamoras, it's, I believe, 5 or 6 shots, and you need to get a Matamoras box to make it 10 shots per magazine. When it comes to shooting it, it is, as you would expect, like similar to the Matamoras, semi-automatic. Yep, just semi-automatic. Matamoras is fully automatic, but it is very slow, and you can probably shoot this just as fast as a Matamoras. It sounds super cool, looks super cool, the iron sights are very cool, and it supports all of the different attachment types. Oh, Jesus. Where'd he go? Stop it. Uh-oh, reload. There we go. All of the different attachment types, like the sights, grips, rangefinder, or tactical, and you can also put on some military stuff on it as well. Military suppressor or military barrel. I'm going to put on the suppressor, and it's pretty much a Matamoras now. Its range is, it looks like it is more than 200, so my assumption is that it is 250. If it's any different, I will put that on the screen right now. Now that I have a gun in my hand, I think it's a perfect opportunity to show you guys the new inspect animations. Now, these can be initiated by pressing F, and they allow you to look at the different aspects of your gun. So if you picked up a new item, whether it's a melee weapon, a gun, or anything of that nature, you can press F to inspect it. He'll look at the left side, look at the right side, and it's very cool. And everything has an inspect animation, and they're all pretty unique. As you can see, we got the pistol like here. We've got this gun right here. Pretty much the same for many of them, but some do have unique animations. For example, like as you saw, the pistol animation looked at the left side, then the right side, whereas the Ace and the Desert Eagle have an animation where he flips the gun, like that. That's pretty cool. Also, with knives, and like this, for example, the butterfly knife, has some complicated little spinny tricks and stuff. And if you pair it as well, press F and then stab, you can do stuff like that. So like, if we find something to stab, come here. Come here, buddy. You can be like a trick shot. You can press F, and yeah, like that. Flip knife, very cool. And also with the military knife, he kind of spins it around. Anyway, very cool. It's tons of fun to go through all sorts of the different animations, different inspect animations for all the different weapons in the game. You just press F whenever you pick up a weapon, and you can check it out, see different aspects of it. And you don't really, like normally I would pick up a gun beforehand and kind of go in third person to look at the different aspects of it to see what it looks like. But now you can just click F to inspect it, and that is awesome. So anyway, that was the Sabertooth and the inspect animation. Next up, we have the Heartbreaker. Now this is obviously the American Scar H or Scar L or some sort of Scar. I don't know the specifics, but it has a very low rate of fire and also reasonably high damage, and the best aspect is that it takes the military magazines, which means it also takes the military drum. So as you can see, I've got 100 rounds in here. It doesn't come automatically with the military drum. I just put it on there, but normally it comes with the standard 30 rounds per magazine military magazine. It supports all the attachments, so let's slap on a rangefinder, military barrel, vertical grip, and a red dot sight, and we've got it totally tricked out. Scar H, or as the game calls it, the Heartbreaker. So, as you can see, very slow rate of fire, but very effective, very low recoil. I'll take off these attachments so you can get a better idea of what it's like without anything on it, recoil wise. I'll also take off this and put on the iron sight so you can see what these look like. Very nice, very simple to use. Also press F to inspect both sides of the weapon. Very cool. That is the Heartbreaker. Next up, let's check out the Peacemaker, which is the Pro 90, or P90 in real life, but Pro 90 in Unturned 2.0. This was one of my favorite weapons in Unturned 2.0, not because it was very practical, but just because it was just like a Rambo weapon. You shot so fast with this thing, and it had such a huge magazine that you could just mow down zombies and there would be blood everywhere. It was just a fun gun to use. Now, I'm super excited for its addition into Unturned 3.0 because it's got a fully redone model. It's got, as you can see, new iron sights, a fancy new magazine that's more colorful. It's got that little bolt trigger thingy that you pull back to load a new round into the chamber. And if I press the inspect button, as you can see, it's looking very cool. And just like it was in Unturned 2.0, it's a nice little Rambo weapon that shoots very fast, garners a lot of attention, and it's just super fun to use. Nice. Now this is called the Peacemaker rather than the Pro 90, and it accepts all of the attachments once again except for the grip attachment. So we can put on a laser sight, suppressor, and red dot, and it's totally tricked out. Anyway, that was the Peacemaker. Next up, we've got one of my favorites, the Viper. Now this is the MP5. I believe it's German as well, if I remember correctly. One of my favorite guns to use in all sorts of different FPS games. It's very versatile, reasonable. It's just an all-around decent gun. It doesn't have anything in specific that it's aiming for. It's just a decent submachine gun, and in Unturned it also goes in the secondary weapon slot, same as the Pro 90, so it's going to be a fantastic weapon to use in conjunction with a sniper rifle. It's the perfect weapon for medium to close range, and your sniper is going to be for those long range engagements. This is called the Viper, and it accepts all of the attachments as well, and it takes military ammunition but its own magazine called the Viper magazine with a total of 25 shots. It is awesome. Fortunately, I ran out of zombies to kill because I just got a little bit too excited with the Pro 90 or whatever that called. The Peacemaker is what it's called now. But I guess we can try it out on the Mega Zombie, which I did hurt a little bit. As you can see, it's very reasonable recoil. It's not too difficult to... Oh my god! I'm gonna die. Die! Die! Oh, thank God. And we got the quick runner running after me. But anyway, this is the Viper. Very cool. We'll use the inspect animation real quick. That's the left side. That's the right side. Perfectly detailed. I'm loving the detail on these weapons. They're very nice. And that wraps up all of these submachine guns and assault rifles. Next up, we've got the new pistols. Starting off, we have the difficult to pronounce Kreiskorek. I think Kreiskorek. It is the Russian pistol that takes obvious influences from the Makarov. I remember this from Black Ops 1. It was not the best pistol in the game, but it got the job done. In Unturned, it takes 12 shots per magazine, and it only supports a tactical attachment. Fine by me. It's just a very decent all-around weapon, and it's got some pretty reasonable damage. I mean, even at long range... It's nothing wowing, I'll tell you that, but it is just a very good all-around weapon, very nice and simple, and it's the Kreiskorek. Kreiskorek? Yeah, I think so. Comment down below how the heck you're supposed to say this. It does support a lot of shots per magazine, as I said, 12, so we should be able to take out all these zombies just fine. Nice. And next we have the American counterpart, the Avenger. Now this is kind of based on the Beretta, I think, M9 Beretta. I don't really know my guns all too well, but it's pretty nice, I'll tell you that. Once again, an all-around great weapon. It's better than the Colt, but it's not as good as the Deagle when it comes to damage, and it's in the just right zone. 13 shots per magazine, the most out of any sort of semi-automatic pistol we have in the game. And it's got reasonable damage, just like we've seen with the Kreiskorrekt. Oh, wow. It's actually got really good damage. Or no, just on the sprinters. Nice. Reasonable recoil. You can't beat that 13 rounds per magazine. That is very nice. Nice. This one does support more attachments than the Kreiskorrekt with the tactical attachment, and also you can put on a suppressor or military barrel on it as you so wish. Very nice. That is the Avenger. Next up, we're going to go through all of the melee weapons. We're going to go super quickly because there are a lot of them. I will tell you that. So we'll drop all these so we can focus completely on these ones. We have in total 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 new melee weapon. As I said earlier, some of them are paying homage to the Unturned 2.0 weapons, like we've got the katana, machete, and frying pan, but we've also got some silly little things like the paddle and the pitchfork, and also up here we've got the shovel and the crowbar. Well, the crowbar I think was in Unturned 2.0 as well, so very cool. And then we've got the police baton. I thought that was in Unturned 3.0, but I guess I've never seen it before, so awesome. If you're role-playing as a police officer, you can beat people down with your baton. To start up at the top, we have the shovel. It looks, well, like a shovel. There isn't much more to be said. I wonder if it makes like a ping noise when you hit people in the head. I'm gonna go ahead and try that out real quick. No, lame. It should make like when you hit people in the head with it. Same with the frying pan. But yeah, it's just a decent melee weapon. A lot of these are going to behave just as you expect them to. You hit them in the head, and after a few hits, they die. Most of these, as you can see with the shovel and like the paddle, they're going to be pretty much the same. Here's what the paddle looks like. It's like the paddle for rowboats. Very nice. And then the pitchfork is pretty cool. This is definitely very cool. He kind of, when he's holding it, holds it as if he's about to stab someone, and that is exactly what he does. He stabs them with a pitchfork, and it's really cool. So those can be found at farm locations. We've also got the frying pan, which can be found in the kitchens all throughout PEI. Very close range, very slow rate of fire. You can just beat people down with a frying pan. That is definitely very cool. Next, we've got the police baton. Used a lot in Unturned 2.0, how you can spin it and kind of hit people like that. In Unturned 3.0, it seems a lot more powerful than it did in Unturned 2.0. In 2.0, he kind of just twisted it and kind of whipped him. And now it's got a little bit more force to it. Very cool. Don't hit me. Crawlers do a lot of damage. There we go. Nice. Was able to take down a crawler zombie pretty effectively. They do have more health than a standard zombie. That was a police baton. Next, we've got the katana, my favorite in Unturned 2.0. It was able to swing really fast, had a very long range, it was lightweight. It's just a fantastic all-around melee weapon, and I believe it is the same in Unturned 3.0. Everything about it. You can swing somewhat quickly, as you can see here, and it's got very high damage. 2 hits to the head when it comes to military zombies, and 1 hit in the head for civilians. The machete is kind of its younger brother. Same kind of idea. Fast swing rate, but it's got a little bit less damage and a little bit less range. And lastly, up at the top we have the crowbar, which has even shorter range and even less damage. This can be found at mechanical locations, obviously. Very cool. So those were the melee weapons. Next up, let's check out the 2 new vehicles that were added in today's update. To the right, we have the golf cart. Very cool. It's a 2-seater, or is it 4? No, it's 2-seater, and has a max speed of 25 miles per hour. It's a gasoline golf cart, and it's not the best vehicle in the game. Obviously, it's a golf cart, but it's very fun to drive around. And we're already out of fuel, but I was able to park it successfully. I didn't scratch that over there. That wasn't me. Next up, we have the taxi, which essentially has the exact same properties. Hey, get out of here. Which essentially has the same properties as the sedan, except it just has some taxi library on it. So you can roleplay as a taxi driver in PvP or PvE servers. Very cool. Pick people up, and they'll have to give you something in return. Or you can just drive it around and be a reasonable person. It's also probably not the best idea to be driving a super bright yellow car around town. But whatever. That pretty much covers everything that was added into the game in today's update. Additionally, we now have an official wallpaper background, which can be found in the Unturned folder and in the extras folder. In there, it's got a super high resolution image that you guys can set as the wallpapers of your computer screens, and it is super cool. I'm definitely gonna have to set that as a wallpaper of my own. Also, some minor additions, if you press M and view the player list, you can now see that there is currently 1 out of 1 players in this server, just because it's single player. But if you are in a server, it will tell you the max amount of players that the server supports and how many players are actually in there, so that way you aren't just having to count everything manually to see if there's an open slot when you're trying to get your friend in. Back out in the menu, when it comes to the inventory screen, we have a few new things. There's a refresh button to automatically refresh your inventory with new items, so that way you aren't having to restart the game as a whole. There's also a little slider to change the angle at which you can view your character. And also in the server list section, you can now refresh the friends servers to refresh all the list of servers that your friends are currently in. That is awesome. So now, rather than your friend telling you like, oh, I'm on this server, and you have to search for it in the internet list, you can just refresh that friends button and it will pop up the list of all your friends there. There's also a little bit of a change going on with the format of this, and it's very cool as well. And that pretty much covers everything notable added in this week's 3.12.2 update. You guys should comment down below your favorite aspect of this update, or favorite thing that was added in today's update, I should say. Mine, I would have to say, is the Viper. Definitely going to be using that. That is one of my favorite weapons. Anyway, there were also tons of minor improvements and tweaks and fixes, but if you guys like to check those out, as always, I will put the full update post in the description down below. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to rate, comment, subscribe, and do all that you wish, because we like Big Boom. Peace out.